चाय बेचने के लिए भी तुम्हें अब फ्रेंचाइजी चाहिए. What sense does it make? Like इसको भी स्टार्टअप बोल दो, तुम चाय बेच रहे हैं.
Why most of the people want to take up franchise is establish a family member. Intention is not to run a business. Busy करना है या मुझे यहाँ settle करना है जिसका कोई expertise नहीं है. So just if things go sideways, what will be the first reaction be? What McDonald's was, it was a West brand, and what they mastered was the price point. If McDonald's starts selling burgers for 250, game over. सारे Indians ही खा रहे, चला भी Indians रहे, मेन्यू भी इंडिया का है, तो सब कुछ यहाँ का है, बट हमें बोर्ड तो बाहर का लगाना पड़ा, बिकॉज हमारा कोई इंडियन ब्रांड डिड नॉट हैव दैट विजन, टेक्निकल नो हाउ, एक्सपर्टीज टू सॉर्ट ऑफ रीच दैट लेवल. In F&B industry, we are a small brand and we will employ 1,000 people at the end of the year. And I don't think we get any benefit from the government, which is strange. I mean, there has to be, something has to change. So if I like somebody, I would say don't get in the restaurant industry. If I don't like somebody and I want him to sort of face a lot of struggle, and I would say get in the restaurant industry.
I remember 3 years ago I was speaking to my brother and he told me that there's this some roll company with a franchisee, and he'll take franchisee, he'll pay 12 lakh rupees to the franchisee, and then lifelong passive income, he'll not have to do anything about it. What do you think about franchise business models? Does it make money? There's a lot of Chaiwalas also selling franchise now. And just to give you context, there was this reel by a teacher and she was blasting these chai franchise and all that. कि चाय बेचने के लिए भी तुम्हें अब फ्रेंचाइजी चाहिए. What sense does it make? Like इसको भी स्टार्टअप बोल दो, तुम चाय बेच रहे हैं. So what's your opinion on the franchisee business?
So my opinion is twofold. Franchising has been very successful in the West. Like in America, Subway is the most franchised brand. One of the most franchised. I don't want.
Domino's, yeah.
So the franchising is very accepted. It's successful there because of 2-3 things. Motivation of the franchisee. They treat it as a business.
Okay.
Secondly, the laws are so stringent where if the franchisee does not adhere to the the brand's guidelines, there are repercussions. Now, to take our country example, why most of the people want to take up franchises is I would not say everybody, but a large percent of people, they want to sort of establish a family member or a cousin or bhatija, bhanja, or they want to do something for their wife या बेटे को set करना है. So intention is not to run a business. Busy करना है या मुझे यहाँ settle करना है जिसका कोई expertise नहीं है. So just if things go sideways, what will be the first reaction be? जिसने पैसा लगाया है वो decisions ले रहा है जिसकी उसको कोई expertise नहीं है. So you tell me the probability of success. Secondly, अगर intent भी सही है, it's a strong brand with strong guidelines. अगर franchisee ने कुछ गलत करा, कुछ outside the purview करा, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Laws are not so strict. So again, it will reduce the probability of success. And the other side of it, I would say, brands that are good, that are profitable, will not want to franchise. Like, we've received close to 400 to 500 franchise inquiries from our inception in the last 9-10 years.
That's a lot.
And, we've, resisted, said no to all of them in a very polite manner, because we always knew we are a profitable business. We don't want to franchise just for capital. Like how we went ahead and got money. So money is an enabler. That should not be the reason to franchise. So good brands don't want to franchise. The brands that franchise may or may not be as profitable as they claim to be. And franchisees, when they say that they will adhere to the guidelines, they may or may not. And if they don't, the guidelines or the repercussions are not as stringent as they are in the West. So I feel franchising will need little bit of more governing.
It's too early for India.
Yes,
Got it.
that's
And-
my personal opinion. Yeah.
And do you think like brands like McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, all these West franchise companies, they are working in India because of the brand name, or why are they working? Even though their quality also, like you'll see some random McDonald's, it's very bad quality also. So that makes sense what you said, but
What McDonald's was, it was a West brand. So there was this fascination that, this is something new. And what they mastered was the price point. अगर आपको बाहर की चीज़, नई चीज़, यूनिक चीज़ सस्ते में मिले तो that is a very unique and fantastic combination. If McDonald's starts selling burgers for $250, game over.
सही कह रहे हो.
What they mastered was 20 रुपए का बर्गर, 40 रुपीज़ का बर्गर, आज
मैकालो टिक्की.
और एंड
Yeah.
500 रुपीज़ में आपका फैमिली की आउटिंग हो गई. बच्चों को टॉय मिल गया, बड़ों को कोल्ड ड्रिंक मिल गया, बर्गर मिल गया, फ्राइज मिल गया. सो एवरीथिंग इन 500 रुपीज़ और एक आउटिंग भी हो गई. So for an average family, 500,000 rupees is a big family meal के लिए is a good deal.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. और burgers तो ठेले वाले पे तो नहीं मिलता है. So that's where they entered at the right time. And now they are just leveraging that.
Yeah.
So
Makes
price is very important in India if you want to be a mass brand.
And I remember while I was in college, there's this, I'm not sure if you've been to Delhi and you've seen that Gupta burger के छोटे stalls, जिसमें वो अलग ही मैकडोनल्ड्स चला रहा होता है. ठीक है, उसकी क्वालिटी के बर्गर्स मिल रहे हैं. He'll cut that tomato in a particular manner. He'll have 2 sauces.
Yeah.
He'll make that in like 1 minute on the spot. मसाला डालेगा, देगा. 8 रुपए 15 रुपए 2 बर्गर देता था. Crazy good.
But again, अब गुप्ता बर्गर के अगर 1000 आउटलेट हो जाएंगे तो चलेगा. बट वो विजन नहीं है. तो that's where the West beats us. मैकडोनल्ड्स इंडिया में एंटर करा, सारे इंडियंस ही खा रहे, चला भी इंडियंस रहे, मेन्यू भी इंडिया का है. पनीर टिक्का, आलू टिक्की, ऐसे तो वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलता है. मैक्सिमम मैकडोनल्ड्स में तो यू डोंट गेट वेज बर्गर ऑल्सो. तो सब कुछ यहाँ का है, बट हमें बोर्ड तो बाहर का लगाना पड़ा बिकॉज हमारा कोई इंडियन ब्रांड did not have that vision, technical know-how, expertise to sort of reach that level.
And even now, a lot of brands are coming in the same space, but they are just ragodifying the same thing. They don't have a vision. They'll McDonald's का McDonald's कर देंगे and Pizza Hut का Pizza House कर देंगे and all. वही चल रहा है.
कहते मतलब ऐसे मैंने बहुत अर्ली सुना था कि नकल में भी अकल होनी चाहिए. अगर कोई किसी का कॉपी कर रहा है तो नाम तो अपना करके उसे ट्रेडमार्क कराओ. ब्लाइंडली आप कॉपी करोगे तो then it's not the right way.
Yeah. No, but I think Burma, you're telling me one day that you plan to go to Dubai and all that. So probably you will be the first few, like one of the.
So again, there have been a few brands that have sort of done the reverse journey of exporting from India.
Correct. Exporting from India.
Yeah. So next, so that is the next. Challenge that we want to conquer sometime in the next couple of years, where we would pilot in one world city. Could be Hong Kong, Dubai, Singapore, and if we will give it everything to make that a success. If that is successful, then the door opens up to probably 50 world cities.
Yeah. Even Thailand is a good market, I feel.
Yes, Bangkok is a fantastic market.
Yeah.
The food scene is fantastic there. So I have this theory. If I look at Singapore, Dubai, Bangkok, Hong Kong, I would not say that. So they are ahead of the journey in terms of how their palates are more evolved. Like for example, 10 years ago, nobody was having sushi. I mean, very few people were having sushi. Now it has become part of our diet,
Weekends.
where sushi is normal. As in, like, it's not something that is different. So they are just ahead of the journey. So if we were to sort of be successful in that environment, then doors open up for us in probably then there is endless endless possibilities. So that is something that we want to sort of venture in the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. Got it. And again, coming back to franchisees, like I was reading up this article where it mentioned that McDonald's charges about 45 lakhs for one, like giving it to somebody and then running it, and then they take a royalty of like 5-10% forever throughout. Plus, they only provide the raw material, so I'm sure they make profits there as well. So, would you recommend that as a passive income solution to anybody who wants to, who has the brains but doesn't want to get too involved? So for them, that might be easy business. For example, if you tomorrow get a McDonald's franchise, it wouldn't be hard for you to just run it in passively.
So to the best of my knowledge, McDonald's is run by only one or two,
Jubilant.
one or two companies. That one company has west rights, one company has north rights.
Correct.
It's not easily available. But a brand like McDonald's, if it were ever available, somebody can take it up. That is actually passive income.
Yeah.
Because you know that it is an established brand. So established brands, you don't get franchises. You get brands which are upcoming, which are new. First you have to understand, why is a brand franchising? Either they want to be a big scale. Like Starbucks did not enter India and they sort of said that, okay, we want to hand out franchises. They tied up with Tata because they had a big vision. All the small brands or early brands, I think the right word is early brand, they give out franchises because they do not have the bandwidth or the capital to sort of scale up. So even there are a lot of unknowns for them also. They've started franchise, they don't know the 15 franchises देंगे तो क्या problems आएंगे, क्या issues आएंगे. So that is when it gets messy. So if you have to take up a franchise, again, as of now, like I said, it's very early stage. Not early stage, it is not as evolved as it should be for it to term as just passive income.
Yeah.
So I would give it a few years.
Yeah.
And I think then we'll get there.
Got it. And talking about restaurants, it's easily one of the hardest running businesses. Like when I was researching on restaurant business, I went through this story of one particular outlet, not small brand, four small stores of sorts, store, restaurant, cafes type model, and I was just reading the story, and first 9 months, they didn't have any customer coming in.
Wow.
Like 8th and 9th was only when they saw few people, like 10 out of 15, some 40% occupancy, 30% occupancy in the 8th and 9th month. 10th month is where they saw 75 plus, 80 plus, 80% plus occupancy, and then the word of mouth spread quickly. So it took 10 months. So much of cash buffer is what I read in the restaurant industry. It's called, like, you need at least 6-7 months of not runway but cash buffer to sustain working capital expenses, etc. How difficult is it from a like an insider perspective of running a business? क्योंकि बाहर से तो बहुत glamorous लगता है चला लेंगे, क्या है, किचन है, ये कैफे, लोग हायर कर लो, मेन्यू बना दो और आ जाएंगे लोग. But how is it like?
So there's a very good saying, all that glitters is not gold. So you hit the nail on the head. When you said it is a very glamorous, there is absolutely opposite.
Yeah.
First, I would sort of like to answer that from our perspective. It is extremely tough to run a restaurant business because of multiple reasons, which I will list. We employ, as of now, 400 to about 450 people. And by end of the year, we'll have about 1,000 people on our payroll. There are so many things that we have to look after, PF, ESIC. There are probably 20 acts that we have to adhere to. We have to make sure that we are compliant. On top of that, we have to pay tax on earnings. And to sweeten it, there is no input credit. We are paying GST and we are not getting input credit. We are, I think, one of the few industries that employ so many people and there is absolutely no input credit. So on a month, I cannot tell you, my EBITDA will go up by 5 to 6% if we started getting input
GST
credit.
credit. Wow.
So in spite of all of that, we always have a smile on our face. We are looking to grow.
That's tough.
And if managing 450 people is a difficult job, We want to sort of make our jobs more difficult by handling 1,000 people, add more restaurants. So I like to feel that we are very resilient industry. In spite of all the challenges, we are hustling continuously. So what I would say, somewhere, one fine day, I'm sure the government is doing a good job. We are just not on their radar. We are employing so many people. If I were to compare, if an industrialist is giving job to 1,000 people, do you think the government will say you're on your own?
No.
100% they will give some, if it were a corporate tech park or some area that the government wants to encourage, there will be tax breaks, there will be some incentive, there would be something or the other, some recognition or something. But in F&B industry, we are a small brand and we will employ 1,000 people end of the year, and I don't think we get any benefit from the government, which is strange. I mean, there has to be something, has to change. So that is the tough part. Now you come at it, and we are in the service industry where it takes 100 things has to go right. Only then you will feel you had a complete, enjoyable, memorable meal. If one thing out of those 100 goes bad, you will feel end of the day, यार मजा नहीं आया.
Correct.
और क्या है यार, वापस सोच के आएंगे. So that way it is very tough from that angle as well. Now the third thing which you mentioned, you take a plunge, you open a restaurant, there's no guarantee people will come, because if a person wants to spend 500 rupees, he has hundreds of options to dine in with Zomato and Swiggy.
The competition.
You can order in. Why do you want to go to the restaurant? You can bring the restaurant here with the thrill of cashbacks and discounting and everything. It's like full entertainment. You want to order, you will get discount, you will get cashback, you will get delivery within 30 minutes, nahi to 100% additional cashback. And the food is not good, you can go and good, bad,
take a photo,
you can click a photo, upload a review, so that sort of, again, that's a complete experience. So again, it is a crowded market, but end of the day, I would like to take it positively. With Zomato and Swiggy, so many people that were not ordering or eating out have sort of they have now they are also a target audience, because now once you start ordering or start going out, then you have this big category of people that probably 10 years ago were not used to ordering deliveries or ordering in or going to a restaurant as regularly or trying new concepts. You always had this 4 or 5 family restaurants where you knew the waiter, the service staff, or what you want to order, and that was the routine. But now people are more experimentative. So I'll always like to look at the positive side. There's no point sort of looking at the negative or not so encouraging there enough. So a lot of people that were earlier not our target audience are now our target customers because of this paradigm shift. Like pre-COVID, our delivery numbers were probably 3-4% of our total revenue. Because of COVID, people have so gotten comfortable and used to ordering. So now our 20% of our revenue comes from delivery. So this is a big paradigm shift. Like 15 years ago, we didn't order off Amazon or Flipkart. Now everybody has an account there.
Correct.
The paradigm shift has happened.
Yeah, even I've ordered like 5 times from Swiggy Burma in Bangalore and here as well.
Yeah. So if I like somebody, I would say don't get in the restaurant industry. If I don't like somebody and I want him to sort of face a lot of struggle, and I would say get in the restaurant industry. So I'm not wishing him bad luck, but just a tougher path.
Got it. And I want to talk about 2 things. One is the service charge thing of the government and the restaurant. A lot of tussle there. And number 2 is the Swiggy Zomato. So let's start with Swiggy Zomato because you already mentioned that. They charge about 30-35 comes and move hota rehta hai. From what I know, they charge from 20 to 35 depending upon the restaurant they are getting in. How does it help a business like you apart from orders?
So see, again, like you said, fixed costs are fixed. That's why. So where, like you said, 3% of our business was deliveries. But now after this paradigm shift, and just through the medium of Zomato and Swiggy, our revenue is 20%.
Correct.
Where our dine-in numbers are steady and growing. So this is this additional 17% that we've added to our revenue. This wouldn't have been possible if the delivery business wouldn't have been mastered by Zomato and Swiggy. So I would like to feel as, again, commission is a different subject altogether.
Okay.
If I were to ignore that, they are big enablers, and I would like to see them as partners.
Okay.
That we are incomplete without them and they are incomplete without us. If there were no restaurants, what will they deliver? And if there was no medium, how will we deliver?
Correct.
We cannot have a delivery fleet like now with the these long distance deliveries. Food can be delivered for 15 kilometers, which was unheard of. And you can sort of do it do it on an app in the comfort of your home. Earlier, you used to call up like the South Indian place close to your home, order one idli, dosa, extra chutney and all of that, and उसमें भी कुछ भूल जाएंगे. The whole experience is not as pleasant. वो घर में एक ही बंदा होता था, यही order देगा. Now anybody can order. App है, people are so used to it. So I like to see, and I'm a big optimist, I like to see the positive side of things. We can't crib on the commission and at the same time reap the benefits. अच्छा हाँ deliveries तो करते रहो पर commission के लिए रोते रहो. See, it's demand and supply. If it's a delivery kitchen, they're dependent on Zomato and Swiggy. Of course, they have to pay a higher delivery commission. But a restaurant has to pay lower because unka main business dine-in hai. So that is demand and supply. That is again business fundamental applicable everywhere. If you go to an airport, पानी आप 100 रुपए का लेते हो, क्योंकि you don't have an option.
बिल्कुल सही बात है.
बाहर कोई 100 रुपए का पानी बेचेगा, कोई लेगा ही नहीं. 10 ऑप्शन है. सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है. डिलीवरी किचन के पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, तो ज़्यादा देना ही पड़ेगा. रेस्टोरेंट के पास 10 ऑप्शन है, वो नेगोशिएट बेटर. सो फंडामेंटल सब सेम. एयरपोर्ट पे नोबडी क्रिब्स. आप 300 रुपए का डोसा खाओगे, वहाँ 50 रुपए का डोसा खाओगे. वहाँ खुशी खुशी खा के हम थैंक यू बोल के 50 रुपए टिप भी देंगे. 50 रुपए वाले से हम कुछ टिप नहीं देंगे. तो इट इज़ जस्ट अ माइंड सेट. कहीं चीज़ें एक्सेप्ट हो गई है, कहीं एक्सेप्ट नहीं हुई है. So that is my opinion on this.
Love it. And because I've spoken to a few more restaurant people and I've seen articles, they're not happy with they're charging so much commission, and they're just in general not happy because they feel that the leverage is shifting from them to the platforms, that they will have control. If that 30% becomes 50%, 60%, 70%, then they're like fully dependent upon the platform for everything. So yeah, that's I think that's true. That's the scary part, no? Like you're dependent upon a platform for 80% of your business or something
so
like that.
I would like to see let me ask you a question. If Zomato and Swiggy wouldn't have been there,
वो धंधा ही नहीं होता.
नहीं तो इतने जो डिलीवरी किचन्स ऑल ओवर इंडिया आए, क्या वो होते? शायद होते, शायद नहीं होते, बट वी कांट से फॉर अ फैक्ट दैट वो तो होते ही. एंड लाइक आई टोल्ड यू ना, we are incomplete without Zomato and Swiggy. Yeah. They are incomplete without us. So let's all believe that they will not kill the restaurants. 50%, 60% मांग के तो कोई restaurant survive नहीं करेगा.
सही बात है.
So I like to feel that the moment you start treating them as partners, negotiate on logic, and of course थोड़ा तो smartly, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to look after your interests. I don't foresee them as a threat. But of course, they are also profit centric. They would want to make profit, and they are getting you business that would not be possible without them.
True.
Like every restaurant can't have 10 delivery riders. Just imagine how many cars will be there on the road. It's not commercially viable. The amount that you would be spending on those delivery riders, that is still more than what commission you're paying.
Correct.
So you have to see ये सब शुरू किसने किया. They enabled for, now you can start a delivery kitchen with 5 lakh rupees, get listed on Zomato and have a business. Earlier that was unimaginable and unthinkable. It is about आप एक agenda के बारे में सोचो, ये commission ज़्यादा लेते हैं, but ये भी तो देखो क्या pluses है.
सही बात.
And then work towards them कि थोड़ा reasonable बनाइए.
Got it.
So it's all about mindset. एक होता है ना negative चीज़ की publicity हमेशा ज़्यादा होती है. ये commission ज़्यादा लेते हैं, अरे हाँ यार ये तो गलत है. बट ये तो देखो क्यों लेते हैं, क्या लेते हैं, होलिस्टिकली सोचो. वो तो कोई नहीं सोच. पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ ट्रैवल्स वेरी स्लोली. नेगेटिव न्यूज़ स्प्रेड्स लाइक वाइल्ड फायर. लॉजिक आप समझो वो. So I don't like to see them as a threat, honestly. That's my personal opinion. I work very closely with them and we try to come to an amicable commission number which is win-win for both parties. अगर आपका APC 100 रुपया है, आप समोसा और कचौरी बेच रहे हो और उसमें आप बोलो मुझे खाली मैं 5 रुपया दूंगा तो कैसे पोसाएगा? It will not be viable. Commission will be higher. अगर आप बोलोगे if I'm selling a 2,500 APC sushi and dim sum, they will not charge you 30%. You have to work with them to sort of bring it down.
Correct.
Because there is cost involved.
Yeah. Got it. And moving towards the service charge thing, it's not mandatory now to pay the service charge thing. How has that impacted the restaurant owners and the service staff and all that? Because इस तरफ तो सब वही बोलने लग जाते हैं कि नहीं देंगे and I'm sure that has increased a lot now. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but क्या चल रहा है उस segment में?
See, service charge is optional. We print it on a bill and it's there on our menus. If somebody asks us to take it off, we take it off immediately, no questions asked. It is a very personal choice. And again, it's a very Western thing of service charge. If you were to go, anywhere, any of the Western countries, there is a compulsion because of the service that has been provided by them. Concept is same. The service staff is sort of providing a service. For that, an optional service charge is added on the bill. If somebody feels he or she did not have a good experience, can ask, it will be taken off, no questions asked. Somebody feels that it is unreasonable, it is not just, it will be taken off. So it is a very personal thing, and I feel खाना तो हम घर भी खाते हैं, बाहर क्यों जाते हैं? For an experience, for service. उसके लिए, if you are happy, और for the service that we are getting, उसके लिए कोई अगर restaurant service charge add कर रहा है तो गलत नहीं है. तो how उसे कैसे balance कर दिया? Made it optional. You will be, so there are certain things like service charge refusals. If you were to look pan-India, there are certain pockets where service charge refusal ज़्यादा आता है, because that is a very hyper-local mindset or trait. Hyper-local, for example, in a certain city, यहाँ पे service charge refusal ज़्यादा आता है, certain cities में आता ही नहीं है. खाना तो same है, service भी similar है, पर क्यों आता है? तो I would like to say hyper-local mindset. Right or wrong कुछ नहीं होता. So that's what we are doing is we are balancing it. We are trying to look after our team members by putting in the service charge. So we transparently distribute the service charge amongst our team members. So if there is a refusal, there is a refusal. We cannot do anything. So we are very transparent. So I would say putting on the service charge is a fair thing, and the customer has the choice to take it off. That is again fair. So I think again it's win-win. If I were to force the service charge, then I'm not giving a choice, then the customer can say it is unfair. But if I'm printing it on my menu, putting it on the menu and following it up with taking it off when the customer sort of requests, then I think it's a fair, fair equation that we've arrived at. Earlier, some restaurants were enforcing and people were sort of fighting that it should be taken off. Now I think everybody has accepted this reality where it's optional. So I don't foresee it as a negative thing anymore.
Are these even myths, or like these are true facts that restaurants, reuse food from 2 days ago and then use the bad oil and all those kind of bad practices? Like while going through that restaurant business do's and don'ts and all that jargon, I saw a lot of it. Like it's very common कि पुराना खाना use कर लो, तेल वो कर लो, ये वो फलाना मतलब.
See, I can comment on the practices that we have. We make fresh batch of food for every session. Like lunch, there'll be fresh batch of food, and for dinner there'll be separate.
Oh, फिर से नया. Oh.
So with experience and with data analysis, we know how much to make. और जो बच जाता है, we do not reuse it, because the end of the day, if a guest is paying a certain amount for a particular dish, what he expects is fantastic taste, fresh food, good service. When he has a choice of 100 restaurants, he or she is coming to your place, you have to make it a memorable experience. Otherwise, you cannot expect him to come back when you're not putting in everything. And we, as a brand, we like to believe that we are very strong on food. So we would never sort of use substandard, hygiene practices or, reuse products which should not be. So that is, I can safely and strongly say about our brand.
Got it. No, आपके लिए तो मतलब,
Yeah.
of course I'm
Yeah.
I'm aware of that, but like
See,
in general
हमेशा ये
consensus.
सोचना चाहिए दुनिया में अच्छाई बुराई से ज़्यादा है.
हाँ.
तो अच्छे लोग जो राइट प्रैक्टिसेस करते हैं वो हमेशा ज़्यादा होंगे. अब कोई ना कोई कहीं ना कहीं गलत कर रहा होगा. दैट डज नॉट मीन कि 80% जो मैक्सिमम
पूरी
लोग जो
industry.
सही कर रहे हैं वो सडनली खराब हो गए. सो इफ़ यू लाइक आई टोल्ड यू आई एम एन ऑप्टिमिस्ट, तो हमेशा पॉजिटिवली आई लाइक टू लुक एट द पॉजिटिव थिंग्स. एंड इफ़ यू सी हमेशा अच्छे लोग ज़्यादा है, बुरे लोग कम है, या मतलब रॉन्ग प्रैक्टिस कम है या सही प्रैक्टिस ज़्यादा है. जस्ट दैट बैड प्रैक्टिसेस को ज़्यादा लाइमलाइट मिलता है. विल यू रीड अ न्यूज़पेपर जहाँ सब कुछ पूरे कंट्री में सब कुछ बोरिंग मंडेन एज पर प्लान चल रहा है? विल यू रीड दैट न्यूज़पेपर?
No.
You will read somewhere where there is something exciting, something negative, something shocking or something drastic is happening. You will read that paper, na? Because that's how we've been conditioned.
That's true. Yeah.
अगर
मेरे सवाल
कल
में
टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया घर पे आया, पूरे इंडिया में सब कुछ नॉर्मल चल रहा है, सब कुछ एज पर प्लान चल रहा है, सब अपना काम कर रहे हैं, सब टैक्स भर रहे हैं, कोई पेपर ही नहीं पड़ेगा. So it is sensationalizing of things.
Got it. And there's this statistics that 90% of the restaurants fail within 5 years of opening up.
Yeah.
What are the few things that kills the restaurant business? Like you have seen the most common things, most common mistakes, apart from what we discussed in terms of intent. कि वो पैसे सोचते हैं ऐसे ही चल जाएगा बट चलता नहीं है. Apart from that, what like when the intent is there, everything is there, तब क्यों fail होता है?
You have to see what the customer wants. As customer needs and wants changes with times. Like 10 साल पहले people wanted multi-cuisine restaurants. लंच में एपेटाइजर में इंडियन खाएंगे, मेन कोर्स में चाइनीज़ खाएंगे, दे वांट टू एंड इट विद अ बिरयानी, डिज़र्ट में यूरोपियन खाएंगे. टेस्ट हैज़ इवॉल्व. नाउ पीपल वांट होलिस्टिक एक्सपीरियंसेस. They want to go to a Chinese restaurant to have an authentic Chinese experience. If you don't identify that paradigm shift depending on what category you are in, then it becomes tough. Guest को आपको A चाहिए, आप B दे रहे हो ना, then it becomes a fight. Secondly, quality. Quality is most important. Why are the Japanese so famous for their quality? Because they don't compromise on quality. You should not compromise on quality because restaurateurs have to realize that we are in the business of serving food, and food, which is the biggest important factor, is quality. So these two things are important along with so many other things. If I were to list two key things, would be these two.
So mostly it's
Understand your customer and make sure whatever you serve has to be the best version of it in terms of quality.
and this is again fundamental of business in general.
Absolutely. If you were to
Yeah.
say like any business, you have to understand your customer and give good quality in terms of service or product. Like I told you, if you were to sit down, fundamentals remain the same.
Yeah. If basically if a customer wants say giving it be no business, any niche,
Absolutely.
any industry, any service, it won't work.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And I think a restaurant in general is very operationally heavy. It's calculative, it's data, it's a mix of a lot of things. एक तो आप रेस्टोरेंट के अंदर जा रहे हो तो आप एनर्जी देख रहे हो, वाइब देख रहे हो, हाउ इज
Music
दैट,
सुन रहे हो,
म्यूजिक सुन रहे हो, वेटर से बात कर रहे हो, उसकी एनर्जी गॉज कर रहे हो, टैट देख रहे हो कितनी जल्दी खाना आ रहा है. दैट्स द फ्रंट एंड. And then back end, there's so much that supply chain, and then team management and culture and this and no bad practices, and there's so much that goes on and there's so much that needs to be in your control that I think it gets out of hand as compared to a normal service business like mine. This may 2-3 things need to be controlled.
See, even though you can say that it's a service industry, but I would say that it is no short of a factory. No short of a... If you were to look at a manufacturing unit and a restaurant, there are so many similarities you can draw. Without government support, manufacturers and industries get a lot of support, and they have government tools. We get nothing, close to nothing. I would not say nothing, close to nothing. Customers are there. Then there is back end. You have to you have to get raw materials. You have to produce food, then serve it, get feedback for repeat. and it has to be a holistic experience in terms of music, service, everything. Eh, So it is extremely tough, but see, that's the beauty. If you sort of crack it, satisfaction is immense. There's so many times it happens, you go to a restaurant, you absolutely love the experience, you want to go back there. So then you have customers for life. If you sort of crack this, then the upside is big. If people love your food, they will be regulars, and they will refer 10 people. They keep coming again and again. So that is the upside.
And what has been the branding impact that you've seen? Like, one of the fascinations why people love restaurant businesses, I've seen that they're just fascinated by the idea that this is my restaurant, and no, I have control over this place. That, like, if I'm not sure if you see Batman, and Batman, there's this movie where he moves the chair and this guy is like, sir, you can't do that, and then he's like, I just bought the restaurant. So that shows you the glamour aspect of owning a place where people come, and that's the authority that you have. Is that still there? Is that like a show that, do you do that? I don't think you do that, but like in general, like for the audience.
I don't do that. It is one of those things. If I go to a restaurant, I just like to observe people. I never sort of have that authority where, see what happens is when you look around, I love to observe people at airports, during flights, and in a restaurant, not in a very creepy way, but just generally. If you look at a restaurant, if you look around now, then you see different, somebody's eating with their family, there's a corporate group, there are expats, or just,
Friends
couple,
chilling.
couple having a meal. Then you see that, all of them come from different walks of life. What unites them, or what has brought them in one place, is their love for food. And if you sort of accomplish in sort of delivering that, then people with different backgrounds, different mindset, then you have them for life. Like, for example, if you were to say, if you're selling a razor, there is only certain sector or certain category of people that will be your customer. But in the restaurant industry, you can have people from, different mindsets, different sectors, different backgrounds, all coming together for one common purpose. And when that's when the responsibility of you delivering a good product is so high. And if you achieve that, then you have customers for a very long time.
On the like, this is something which I usually do at the end of the pod, is that the audience watching this is mostly 18 to 25, right? From the first half of the conversation, they'll take a lot from a growth, personal development perspective. From the second hand, they'll get niche specific restaurant vibe. But one of the things which is very important for anyone to just basically grow in life, apart from any niche industry, is the culture of things that they follow. Like, in the past 2-3 months, I've realized that culture in terms of people I hang out with, if you're a founder, culture of the team that you're doing, if you're just an employee, culture you're following. Culture, a basic word, is something I've picked up recently. What should an audience outlook be when it comes to culture? What kind of culture do you think they should focus on, as an ending note?
See, there is again no one way to
100%,
that. See, I have always known that I'm an average, student of whether it was education or business. So I'd like to surround myself with talented people, or people that I want to learn from. So in a way, that is a cultural choice, who I want to hang out with, people who I want to follow on Instagram, for that matter. Whether I'm following somebody who's doing, these, latest trends which have absolutely no importance in the larger context. It is just those for 2 minutes, you have a laugh, or you feel disgusted, or and that's the end of it. Or you follow people that are different walks of life, but you get to learn from something. So that is a personal culture. And then you try to work in places that has a good positive culture. Then again, you can't always control where you work. So in your personal time, try to follow people, or keep a tab of more people from different walks of life. Again, it should not be a one-trick pony where you're just following or keeping a tab.
Makes sense.
of just one particular industry. Then what, after a time, then it becomes predictable. But for example, you're following people across genres or different industries or different sectors, different background, then without realizing, in a year or so you will have you would have learned so much. Like if you learn 10 things and you realize the source is 6 different sectors,
सही बात है.
then you have a very unique combination that is your own to keep. So that is one suggestion like to give people. If 18 to 25, I'm 35, I don't know how relevant that is.
It's very relevant.
But that is the wisdom that I can offer.
100%. Thank you, Chirag, for doing this. I think आपको realize नहीं होता that you should actually be a creator or something like that, because there's so much value that you give that you actually fill that gap which the 18 to 25 today has. Like एकदम वो complimenting है. Complimenting जो आपको last time बताया था ना कि एक creative है, देखिए होना चाहिए, दोनों वो नहीं होना चाहिए. You are that person who can be the 18 to 25 को sane करने वाला, mature करने वाला person for sure. So like, thank you for doing this. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. And and like I have this I have 2 policies. 100%. I never say no to a meeting, and I never say never.
Nice.
So like the recent suggestion. So maybe let's see where life takes me.
100%. Guys, on that note, go check out Burma. Go to the restaurant, eat. I love the restaurant. There's no saying that goes behind that. But anything else you want to say? The parting voice.
Please visit Burma. We can promise a unique experience. Taste is subjective, but one thing we can assure you is of good quality and an interesting experience.
Thank you guys. ये आपके हमने मंगाया है from Bombay Sweet Shop.
Thank you.